Hi guys, thank you very much for tuning in again. This is Beauty and the Beast this week, reviewing the remake of the 1991 Disney animation version. Now, I didn't actually want to review or even watch this film for a couple of reasons. One, I hate with power prequels, sequels, remakes, or anything based off a past franchise, because I think it's unoriginal, uncreative, and unfortunately where the movie industry is spiraling towards. And also because I have a huge personal and emotional connection, if you like, to the 1991 version. I loved this film. It was my development film. I watched it every day, pretty much. I was in a Belle dress for most of my childhood, and this is no word of a lie, I was actually called Belle up until the age of 9. It was 9 that I changed my name back to my birth name, Elizabeth. So you can see it's pretty personal to me. So we've got the cast: Emma Watson, who plays Belle. We've got Dan Stevens, who plays the Beast. We've got Luke Evans, who plays Gaston. We've got Josh Gad, who plays LeFou, Gaston's confidant. And we have the lovely Kevin Kline playing Maurice, the father. Then we have continuing the ensemble cast. We have the voice actors of the objects in the house that come alive. This is Ewan McGregor, who plays the Candlestick. He's pretty great. Ian McKellen, Emma Thompson, Stanley Tucci. Yeah, that's what I've got down here. I think there's a spotting of others, but they're the main ensemble cast. The film is directed by Bill Condon, who directed Dreamgirls, and he wrote the screenplay for Chicago, and he directed a couple of the Twilight series. So he's a pretty current director. He has a history in musicals, so he's probably the best director to have had to do a remake of Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, they're doing a lot of human versions of Disney things. They've recently done Cinderella and Jungle Book, and I think they did a couple of others. And they're even talking about doing Dumbo and Lion King, the human versions. Why and how, I don't know. But there you go, we'll see, unfortunately. It's pretty authentic to the original. Set design, they haven't gone too risky on it. They've stuck to the same sort of colours, the same Disney feel to it, and costumes are very similar. So we've got the same famous yellow dress that she does the dancing in. We've still got the same, teapot and candlestick and everything. So it's pretty stayed the same. It hasn't been too risky. They have a few more juicier narrative bits to it than they did in the animation version. So I guess they're trying to stretch their audience out to slightly more mature audiences. For things like they made out that the reason the Beast is so selfish is because he had a poor upbringing with his father. There's this backstory of Belle's mother dying in Paris and they had to move away, and that's why her father's upset. And so we have a few more things to the story. A few modern ideals pressed onto the film that we didn't before, which is a good thing. So, for example, there is the undertone of an unrequited gay romance between Gaston and his confidant LeFou, which is good. So here we have a gay character in the film. There's been a lot of discussion on how Emma Watson has brought more of a empowering approach to the character of Belle, trying to strengthen her character as a woman. There's been discussion around it. I don't actually see any evidence of it. I think that Belle already was a character on the page that had a lot of strength and had her own self-will. So I never thought, oh gosh, Emma Watson's played this feisty. She's a gusto woman. She was just Belle, as far as I'm concerned. She was fine. I'm not saying she was a weak character. I just don't think she was a pretty feisty character either. I'm not going to talk too much about acting abilities. I don't want to slander Emma Watson too much. The ensemble cast was good. I think that's a good aspect. I think it was nice that we have a lot of cast in there. It's juicy, especially for the older watchers, the older viewers. I prefer the animation version personally. I think that it brings much more colour to it, it's much more magical, aesthetically lovable about the animation film that isn't in this. It was a bit blander. Now there's a couple of good scenes. The introduction to the film is brilliant. It's got a very Marie Antoinette feel to it. We've got the big puffy dresses and the white wigs and the powdered makeup and there's a big dance scene, and that's good opening. It made me not want to leave. Later on, I just more numbed to the seat rather than stayed in it for Will. And then they have a really good dance scene, which is the Gaston. Nobody fights like Gaston, don't like Gaston. That's a really good scene. It's a bit of me singing too. I'm giving it a 5. It's good. You go and see it if you're curious. If you're not curious, it's not worth seeing. It's okay. I have reviewed a documentary called Casting John Bonet. You might have seen it floating around on Netflix recently. It's really a good and interesting documentary. It's done very differently, directed by Kitty Green. So please go and check out my review. I will leave the links below. I will be on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter if you want to ask me about doing any reviews. So please go onto my YouTube to watch the vlogs you've missed. Thank you very much, folks. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you soon.